Whatever you're doing, do not scroll past this video. The information within it could change your entire outlook on the Earth, God, and the universe itself. Everybody knows the sun governs our 24-hour day. The moon governs the months, 28 phases, creating moons. That's why we have lunar calendars. Stars give us our 365-day year because they realign in the exact same spot every 365 days. Go out tonight, take a picture of the sky in your backyard, wait 365 days until the exact same day next year, and the same stars will be in the same spot, governing how long our calendar year is. But it's not only those things that are cyclical. Meteor showers, I found out, are cyclical. We pass by the same 4 meteor showers every single year around the same time of the year. And you have to believe that we're being yoinked by the sun around a black hole flying by the same rocks every year. Now, why am I telling you these things? Why would I say this? I want you to go watch a 5-minute video on the Big Bang. I want you to listen to them talk about dark matter, dark energy, these things they don't understand. I want you to watch videos from people like Astro Kobe talking about the Big Bang, where he's like, oh, what was before the Big Bang? Nothing. They actually theorize in colleges to adults that there was no space and no such thing as time before the Big Bang. Oh, and TikTok, this is all just a satire video. Well, what the heck is Admiral Byrd doing in front of a flat Earth map in an interview? These guys are running around acting like they know what happened 1 second after an event that happened 15 billion years ago. That is the definition of pseudoscience. And it's plagued all of astrophysics, unfortunately. The point of this is to show how, it's the right word, loony all of the people that believe in this are. The sky being completely cyclical does not add up from a random expansion from the center of the universe, especially when it has so many admitted problems. Check them out. Let's go into my modern book of pseudoscience, shall we? So, when we open this baby up, problems with the standard theory of the Big Bang? The horizon problem, let's talk about the horizon problem. The horizon problem, very simply put, is the cosmic microwave background that is imaged from the Earth is almost essentially smooth. They observe the same temperatures across the entire sky of space. Does that make sense if we came from a central location, from nothing, and all of these different suns are different temperatures and things? Like, why would it look similar all across the board? Big problem. This is obviously my favorite one. Why is the universe so nearly flat? Well, let me get this, guys. You think that the Big Bang, an explosion, usually shoots out in spheres. You think the entire universe being flat, like the Earth, adds up? I'm telling you this because the Earth's flat. There's no such thing as space. There's no such thing as black holes. We are not moving. We are stationary. We will never be killed by meteorites, thankfully, because space is fake. Look more into it. Have you ever heard a religious believer in the Earth being a ball claim that Eratosthenes proved it hundreds of years ago? Well, today, we're going to completely destroy that ideology. Stick around. First off, the angles of the shadows cast by the sun being different at different longitude and latitude lines is not exclusive evidence that the terra firma, or the Earth's surface, is convexed, okay? Get that straight. If the Earth is flat, which it is, and the sun is local, which it is, it would cast those same shadows, as you see on these two models. It's not definitive or exclusive of either model. Again, very obvious for the critical thinking. Eratosthenes proved nothing. Look, these two bottles under a local light cast different shadows. But let's dig a little more. Let's see exactly how he got his calculations. Eratosthenes divided 360 by 7.2 and got 50, which told him that the distance between Alexandria and Syene, 500 miles, was 1/50th of the total distance around the Earth. See this number right here? How did Eratosthenes get the 360 degrees assumed sphere that we are living on, apparently? He assumed it. That's it. He assumed the Earth was a ball, took the degree of the shadow cast, divided it, and told everyone it proved the Earth's a ball. That's called a begging the question fallacy. Eratosthenes proved nothing. There's no definitive evidence that we are on a ball spinning and orbiting the sun. If you need to share this with a zealot, a globe zealot, please do. Share it with them so they can get angry and realize they're a part of a religious dogmatic belief that the Earth's a ball. It's not provable. There's no exclusive evidence the Earth's a ball. Have a great day. As you guys are fully aware, there's no evidence that the Earth is a round ball orbiting, spinning, precessing around the sun. Oftentimes, people will actually insanely, egregiously claim that you can see the curvature of the Earth from upwards of like 30,000 to 40,000 feet. Today, I'm here to check those heliosexuals. Here is the priest of scientism, Neil deGrasse Tyson himself, an astrophysicist, by the way. If you're just a normal guy, normal girl, do you think you know better than an astrophysicist about the shape of the Earth and what altitude you'd see the curvature at? Let's hear from him.
Good, this size, the International Space Station would be orbiting about a half an inch above the surface. And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, what's his name? Felix Baumgartner, he would have been about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump. Now, you know, I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat. And then I showed examples.
So you might ask, okay, fine. Felix Baumgartner didn't see the curvature of the Earth from how high he jumped. How high was he, though? He completed 2 test jumps at around 70,000 feet, and then his final jump was at 128,000 feet. And we have religious globe zealots running around actually confidently saying you would see it from 40,000 feet. Not only that, on my lives I've had pilots come on, commercial pilots that fly often, every day sometimes, and they fly around 40,000 feet to 45,000 feet, and they've admitted that it's kind of a joke in their field, that it's pretty flat up there. You probably won't believe me. So let's just play the video of the screen recording of the commercial pilot saying it.
Joke in our flying career, but it does look pretty flat from up there. Maybe if you go a little bit higher, I don't know. Up to about 45,000 feet. Personally, you don't see anything. So perhaps outside of that, never mind. Yeah.
This is a screenshot from a video of a high-altitude balloon going up to 120,000 feet. Where is this elusive curvature of the Earth that is so falsely claimed by the masses? It's like it doesn't exist. It's like the Earth is flat. It's like when we send up one of these high-altitude balloons, 120,000 feet, and it lands back in the exact same spot, basically, maybe we should assume the Earth is not spinning. Maybe the Earth's not a wobbling, spinning water ball shooting through a vacuum, 4.9 billion miles in a year, while Polaris sits in the exact same spot. Maybe we should assume, since every experiment in the history of mankind has come back with a null result when trying to detect the motion of the Earth through space, maybe we should assume that it doesn't exist. This conclusion directly contradicts the explanation which presupposes that the Earth moves. The Earth's flat. Share this with somebody that thinks that you could see the curvature of the Earth from a plane, because they've lost their mind. It is constantly, zealotlessly, religiously repeated by the heliocentric side that solar and lunar eclipses suggest that their model is correct. Today, we're going to expand on that and completely destroy that ideology. So if you've got somebody that you're trying to wake up to the true shape of the Earth, and they say that solar and lunar eclipses suggest that we're on a spinning ball revolving around the sun, feel free to share this video with them. First, we're going to talk about solar eclipses. For anybody that watched the October 14th solar eclipse, I will have a video that I'm going to play from NASA of their live stream of it. I want you to notice when I play this live stream what direction the celestial body that goes in front of the sun is moving. And ask yourself, does the moon ever move like this?
Starting first in the United States and then following. And I mean, what a NASA broadcast, right? And so thank you.
Large this area of partial eclipses, this
everyone is just excited about this eclipse and
away. What I think is super cool, we've even got some full. In addition to that, I mean, we really.
I think I heard you say it, Michael. It's about the community and being communal.
If you were fortunate enough, which I was, and I was actually in the path of totality as well, if you watched the solar eclipse, the node, definitely not the moon, came from top to bottom. When do we ever see the moon move vertically in the sky? Please share one video with me on Instagram. I'd love to watch it. Whenever I've watched the moon, and I watch it a lot, it only moves horizontally in the sky for some reason. But I'm supposed to believe when I watch with my own eyes that solar eclipse, the moon moved from top to bottom over the sun? That never happens, debunking the heliocentric claim that it's the moon in the first place. Now, when talking about eclipses, you already know we're gonna bring up the Selenilian eclipse, or rather coined the impossible eclipse, because it's impossible on the heliocentric model. This eclipse is a lunar eclipse phenomenon where we see the sun and the moon both above the horizon. And guess what? It's not rare. It happens frequently with lunar eclipses. Again, the globe side fallaciously assumes that refraction is causing all of this. You just have to believe. Just believe that the images of the sun and the moon are being refracted thousands of miles into the sky, looking completely physical. This is literally what they put out to try to explain a Selenilian eclipse. As you can see, there are serious problems with claiming that lunar and solar eclipses suggest we're on a ball revolving around the sun. There are so many anomalies with these eclipses and the heliocentric model claim, none of them line up when you actually critically look at the data given to us. So the next time one of your friends, family, or coworkers tries to bring up the ideology and the insane claim that lunar or solar eclipses suggest we're on a ball, feel free to pull up this video. Again, feel free to send this to them. If you really want to trigger somebody, this information will do it. Have you ever heard NASA or other space agencies claim to discover that there's water on planets light years away, or that Uranus's atmosphere smells like farts? Yeah, NASA actually said that. Let's talk about the pseudoscience that is spectroscopy, in which they're supposedly figuring these things out. Spectroscopy is the field of study that measures and interprets the electromagnetic spectra that result from the interaction between electromagnetic radiation and matter as a function of the wavelength or frequency of the radiation. In simpler terms, spectroscopy is the precise study of color as generalized from visible light to all bands of the electromagnetic spectrum. Essentially, what these pseudoscientists are doing is aiming telescopes at celestial bodies, collecting the light, sending that light into a prism, breaking it up into a rainbow, and saying that they can figure out all of these things. Composition, temperature, mass, velocity, rotation, magnetic field, luminosity, age, distance, stellar evolution, redshift and cosmology, planetary atmospheres, exoplanets, stellar classification, planet detection, metallicity, the stellar activity, and the chemical abundances. You heard that right. The pseudoscience that is spectroscopy is the study of colors. Again, they collect the light, send it into a spectrograph, get a color spectrum, and say that they can figure out all of these things by looking at a rainbow. If you think that that is a science that we can trust, there's something seriously wrong with you. For anybody that can critically think, there's problems with claiming that you can figure out those 18 things by looking at colors. Deny pseudoscience, and have a great day. By now, everyone's gotta know, NASA is the #1 consumer of helium annually every year. They consume about 75 million cubic feet. Where's all this helium going? Oh, they're admittedly launching satellites with balloon technology. I know, it's hard. It's hard to not believe that metal the size of cars are just being dropped off in a space vacuum and doing magical geodesics and geostationary orbits and polaral orbits. I know it's hard, but delete all of that from your brain. It doesn't exist. Everything that goes up must come down unless there is a force acting upon it to keep it in the sky, such as helium. Here's another picture of NASA launching another satellite with a huge helium balloon. Funny enough, people all over this level plane are finding satellites tethered to balloons crashing down to the Earth. And we have projects like Project Loon and Project Echo, where Google and NASA admit to still using balloon technology in 2023. If we had thousands of satellites orbiting the Earth, why in the hell would we still be using balloon technology? Put your thinking or tinfoil caps on. If you know somebody that thinks that the existence of magical satellites proves the Earth is a magical spinning water ball, feel free, share this video with them. Repost it to get this onto the Heliosexuals For You pages. Satellites, and the ideology that is permitted and perpetuated by NASA, does not exist. Every time we see a satellite, it is tethered to a balloon. And if you think you're seeing a satellite from 250 miles away in the sky, you've not only lost your mind, but something is seriously wrong with you. Please, I'd say go to a doctor, but obviously I don't trust any of those people. You need help. Look at all these satellites tethered to balloons, crash down to the Earth. It's like they don't exist in the way that NASA tells people. Also, whenever you see NASA or SpaceX doing any of these rocket launches, there's a reason they do a geodesic out like this. Missile launch trajectory, rocket launch trajectory, okay? They're not going around the Earth to get the gravitational swing out into space. Space doesn't exist, people. Wake up. A vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr cannot coexist next to a high-pressure system like our atmosphere without a container. There's a reason it takes like 15-foot thick concrete walls to simulate a vacuum of 10 to the negative 6 torr. Globers, if you don't know what I'm saying, use the dictionary. It's out there for you guys to just Google the words that I'm saying instead of just saying, nuh-uh. I totally get that you're busy, you've got personal things going on in your life, lots of distractions on the news given from the mainstream media. There's a lot going on. But I don't know if you realize this, but it's been over a year since the Georgia Guidestones were blown up, and nobody's talking about it anymore. And if you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are, it's a bunch of tall stone tablets where it has written on them the same exact text in a bunch of different languages. One of the wonderful things that whoever put up this monument thought to put on here was maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. If you do the math, that's like a 90% reduction in the current claimed population of the Earth. But other than just saying some weird stuff like we should kill everybody, it also had some astronomical features. 1. The channel through the stone indicates the celestial pole, Polaris. Talk about that in a second. The horizontal slot indicates the annual travel of the sun. And 3. Sunbeam through the capstone marks noontime throughout the year. Now that channel that they were talking about drilled through the rock is this hole right here. And you could have walked up to this hole at any time of the year, day or night, and this hole would be aiming at Polaris, the celestial pole. Riddle me this. How are we supposed to believe this worked if this is the movements of our solar system? The entire solar system is moving 500,000 miles an hour, 4.9 billion miles in a single year through space. We're tilted on an axis, precessing, wobbling, while we're supposed to believe we're orbiting the sun at 66,616 miles an hour on average. And all of the stars above our head are supposed to be expanding away from us from the Big Bang, doing their own individual movements. And we're supposed to believe that we're on a round rock, and we could set a rock on this rock that aims at Polaris 24/7 when we're supposed to be doing this? Someone make sense of this. I know it's a lot to realize that current cosmology is off, but it's actually admitted by people like Michio Kaku, who admit that cosmology, the current cosmology, is off by 10 to 120th power. And this channel and this guidestone right here definitively disproves the ideology which suggests that we're on a spinning magical water ball doing all of these astronomical motions around the sun and through a space vacuum that doesn't exist. This truth, it's uncomfortable. It's gonna really twist and turn your brain. But once you realize that everything is cyclical and the sky is a clock, and the Georgia Guidestones, that horizontal hole that was cut into those stones, it measured the equinoxes and solstices of the year. Why do you think that the sun makes this analemma every year? It makes this infinity shape. And we have to believe that a Mars-sized planet came and hit the Earth and caused all of this cyclicalness? Yeah, right, buddy. The Earth's flat, and we live on the inertial plane or block domain wall of the magnetic perturbation that starts at the center of the Earth. There's no South Pole. And when you look at the movements of the wandering stars or so-called planets, and then you look at a magnetic field, something might be going on. I suggest that maybe the sky moves off magnetism and not gravity. Share this video. Get it out to the people. Let's prove to everybody that God's true creation is a level topographical plane with the stars and the moon and the sun moving above us. We are not moving. Have a good one. One last thing before you go. But tsunamis should actually prove that the Earth is a ball. Easily. The tsunami should wrap around continents like they do other continents. This is a map of a tsunami that went towards Antarctica. It was contained by the ice wall. For you guys that actually do want to look into the true shape of the Earth, this is a good book. The first example of an emergency landing that demonstrates that we probably are on a flat Earth is this one. An Argentinian and a Brazilian team were invited to compete in the 200th anniversary of Captain Arthur Phillips' Gold Cup. Now remember the title of the book. This is an emergency landing, so they landed essentially immediately to get onto the ground as soon as they could. But where they landed was kind of odd. Thousands of miles north of the equator. But if we look at it on a flat Earth, right over it. While we're chatting about planes, nobody's seeing curvature from a commercial plane flight, guys. Absolutely not. Even Neil's admitted this. Just check out my other videos. I think these people are going to space. Doesn't look like space to me, guys. Or like like a scuba diving day over at the NASA Neutral Buoyancy Lab. You know what I'm talking about, guys? Does the size of America just like fluctuate over the years, or like what is going on here? Is nobody gonna address this? Like, seriously, I've never heard a logical argument for how we have air pressure in our atmosphere with no container. This is insanity. Crepuscular rays suggest that the sun is probably local and not 93 million miles away, because these rays wouldn't be shooting in all different directions. It's like the sun isn't like super far behind the clouds right here. Circumnavigation is possible on both models, guys. So just because Amelia Earhart went around the world doesn't mean that the Earth's a ball. It just means that she just went due west.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was al-Biruni, and he lived from 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also of the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alankar, known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo. I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific Ocean where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.